Hi, everyone. Welcome back to It's All Light. I'm your host, Natalie Baugh. And today we have a special guest, Miss Kate Moritz.
Hi.
So, fun fact, this is my lovely roommate. And it's so divine that she became my roommate because we clicked and are fast friends. And it's only been, what, like 4 months? Okay, maybe even less than that.
It's been like 2 months,
Two
maybe
months.
three.
Yeah.
But
But
yeah, we have fun.
yeah, and I'm so excited that Kate had some time today to record because my other guest rescheduled to next week. So stay tuned though. There are some fun guests coming, and today you're going to absolutely fall in love with Kate. I cannot wait for you guys to hear all that she has to say. But before I do that, I just want to apologize for last week's. Didn't get the episode out. I had it, just never clicked record. But that was with my other friend, and she'll be on later. And it's a really good, inspiring message about ministering. So we'll get to that later on in the month. But we're so happy it's Thanksgiving week, and we're going to get to know Kate. And first, Kate, just tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll jump into some fun Thanksgiving tidbits.
Hey, I'm Kate. I'm from Mesa, Arizona, born and raised. I lived there the first 19 years of my life. And then I moved to Independence, Missouri. I served a mission there, which was a dream come true. Because it was church history, visitor center, and proselyting.
So
So it
cool.
was just a lot. Yeah, it was so fun. And I learned a ton about the church history. And I truly feel like that's the foundation of my testimony, which is cool because so many people feel the opposite about church history. But I'm
Mm-hmm.
very grateful for everything I learned there. And I spent 6 months at the Liberty Jail and it changed my life.
Whoa.
It was incredible.
That would be, I think I've been to that one. I think I've been to the other one, Carthage.
Carthage.
Yeah.
People get them mixed up all the time,
Yeah. Uh,
but both
Missouri.
are amazing.
Doesn't Missouri
Missouri.
get freezing in the winter?
Like, yeah. They would have freezing rain, and
Oh,
when it would hit your
scary.
face, it felt like you were being like cut. It was so cold.
Oh,
But um best barbecue on the whole planet. I
oh
stand by that. Like
man.
Kansas City barbecue lives up to the hype
Yeah, for
for
those
sure.
of you who don't know, you can join the Dum Dum Club. Thank you, Maddie Murphy. Kansas City is in Missouri, not Kansas.
Which does not make any sense. I
I think
love
it's so
Kansas
cool.
City.
We'll have
Makes
to
sense.
go. I think my grandparents served in Missouri, and I went when I was like
Really.
5, so don't remember it. But
Mhm.
guys, if you're watching on YouTube, which that shows our videos versus just on Spotify podcasts, you can see that just Kate lighting up about this. And I'm so excited
Aw.
to have her because she's just well-rounded in all things passion. She's just a passionate person, and she has a TikTok that you guys can follow because she does so good. She's such a good content creator, and she's stunning, and she does hair. So if you need hair done, go to Kate. And
Yours.
anyways, so today, Kate, we're going to do the Thanksgiving question, and then we'll jump into all things you're passionate in and then dive deeper into one of those. So Thanksgiving is this week. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. I'm so excited. I love Thanksgiving. Kate, tell us some of your favorite Thanksgiving traditions. What's your favorite food?
Okay. Unpopular opinion, but Thanksgiving is like my favorite holiday. I look forward to it more than Christmas.
Whoa.
Just because there's something about like the low expectations of it. I mean, it's low expectations because I don't have to cook, but
Same.
I just show up and eat. But it's so fun. I'm really blessed because both of my mom's grandmas are still alive. So both my
Hmm.
great grandmas, and because of that, like just all growing up, we always got together with like the whole family. So I'm really close with my great aunts and uncles and my second cousins. And so we
Fun.
all get together for Thanksgiving and it is so fun. So we actually do it at my parents' house in
In
Arizona.
Arizona.
So I fly down on Wednesday
So fun.
and usually in the morning like we'll go on a hike and then we'll just get everything ready. People come over and we do like it's almost like a 12-hour Thanksgiving. Like
Oh,
we start at like noon at our house and we have all the food and we go around the table, say what we're thankful for, and then everyone just kind of chills for a while, and then we all go home, and then that night we go to my aunt's house and we have like pie and chips and dip, and then we watch football and we like hang out, and then some people go Black Friday shopping, or but it's like
yes.
so fun because we like have a it's like a whole day thing. But I'm so excited. I love my family, and it's bittersweet to be away from them. I feel like this time in my life, my free time is so limited. I don't feel guilty
Mhm.
about not spending time with them because I can't spend time with them, like, they live in a different state.
Mm.
But when I go home, like, I look forward to it so much just 'cause, um, my older sister has, like, 3 kids, and
Aw.
it's so hard to, like, miss them growing up. So I just
Yeah.
like, when I go home, I'm like, the only thing I wanna do is just hold the babies, like, just play with them and watch them, and oh, yeah.
Oh.
So I'm so excited for that, and then my younger brothers are there, and I have a brother that's in junior high. He is the cutest thing. And he texted me today and was like, "Will you cut my hair?" And I'm like, "You're the only boy I'll cut their hair for." But yeah, so I'm just like really excited to go home and see my family. Like I've really been missing them recently. So,
Aw. I love that you're so passionate about that, and I am too. Like, as you were talking, like, just being able to hang out with my cousins. Yeah.
mhm.
One time, my mom wouldn't let me and my cousin go Black Friday shopping. We were probably, like, 14, 15. And she was like, "No, you guys are fine." And so we literally went up to her little loft and we played Super Smash Bros. Till like 3 a.m. And
Shut
we
up.
just like tried to get to the level. I don't know. There's just so many memories. Or we turn on a Christmas Hallmark movie and lay in bed and all watch it on our
Aw.
laptop. Like, it is so fun. But my cousin might be having her baby though, like this week though. So she might
Oh
not
my
be there.
gosh.
Yeah. Crazy. She looks
It's
amazing
so
though.
wild.
But I
Like
love
the older you
babies.
get, you like don't spend as much time with your cousins, but when you get together with them, it's just like such a good feeling. Like it really
Mm hmm.
strengthens my testimony of families because
Yeah.
you feel so good when you're around your family. I know that's
Yeah.
not the case for everyone, but there is something special about the fact that you're related to someone, and I
Yeah.
can't like, describe it.
And even though we don't spend as much time as we did when we were little, though, we have that like strong foundation of spending so much time together, and we still do things together. Like yesterday, we went and got Christmas trees, and everyone was there, and it was so fun to just be with them, and then just yeah, just sitting around the table with everybody. Ah, just the food. I love Thanksgiving food. It's so
Yeah.
good, and
Oh,
I like to go play football. We do a turkey bowl. Yeah. So, what of the food items is your favorite?
okay. My aunt Carrie makes this sweet potato
Mm,
casserole, maybe, but it's like sweet potato, and then it has like a brown sugar pecan like topping on it. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like
yeah.
it's so yummy. Oh,
Oh,
I look forward to that every year.
that
And then
sounds
my
so
dad
good.
is just like the king of cooking meat, and so he
Mm,
makes the
the
best
turkey.
turkey.
Oh,
So
so good.
both of
I'm
those
already
things.
just getting so excited. This year, I made the goal 2 years ago, but this year I actually want to learn how to make a pie, and I think I'm going to do that with my mom on Wednesday. And then
Aw.
for my job, we have a salt chef, and he taught the TV like at Studio 5, taught how to make and brine a turkey, and he made it so simple that I'm like, should we try this? Kate, you might help me make a turkey
Maybe we
tomorrow.
should. I was watching a video on how to stuff a turkey though, and I'm like, that is so
I don't know
disrespectful.
if we'll
Like,
stuff it, but
but I feel like
we'll
that's part
see
of it.
we'll brine it though, which makes it
Okay, okay,
soak in
okay.
the flavor. And then
Yes.
I remember on my mission learning that you put the marshmallows on the sweet potatoes or the yams. I had never known that trick. I'm like, I need to actually cook more. But yeah, so stay
Girl, Texas
tuned.
Roadhouse could have taught you that.
I know. So stay tuned, Kate, and I might do like a little Friendsgiving. And if you're VIP, you can come.
That would be so
We
fun.
actually might not do it, but we might try to make a turkey
Maybe
and you can try
tomorrow.
it. Yeah.
We don't have to
Stay
stay
tuned,
cheap.
fans. Okay, so we just love Thanksgiving, and what Thanksgiving is all about, besides family and food, is being thankful. So, Kate, what are 5 things you're grateful for? And then I'll share mine.
Okay. I'm so grateful for the gospel of Jesus Christ and all that encompasses. It
Mm-hmm.
brings me so much peace, and I don't know where I'd be without it. I'm very grateful to have a good job that's flexible and that pays well, and I really don't have to worry about taking care of myself, but my needs are met, and I'm grateful for that. Um, I'm grateful for the good relationships in my life and the people that I know I can just come to as I am, whatever that looks like, because it changes from a day to day basis.
Mm-hmm.
But people who see me for who I am and make me feel understood.
Amazing.
A fourth thing I'm thankful for is the opportunity for new relationships. And I feel like all the time I'm meeting someone new, and it's like so exciting to meet new people and make more relationships.
Yeah.
And the fifth thing I'm grateful for is warm clothes. Like, I don't like winter, but I've been trying to like it better. So I've been leaning into like being more cozy. And I've had so much fun layering and buying warm clothes recently. So I'm really grateful for warm clothes.
Nice. Kate's fashion's impeccable. Guys, you have to go just follow her on her
I
social
do
media
love
world because
fashion.
she looks so good all the time. And she travels for work sometimes and just makes the most fun content. But yeah. So first and foremost today, I'm so grateful for Kate. I was leaving church with her and I was like, can you record my podcast with me today? Because mine just got changed to next week. So here she is. And she's just so wise that like anything she says should be recorded. So that's what we're doing.
Thanks, Matt.
Second, I'm also grateful for the gospel of Jesus Christ. I love that you said that. And that's one of Kate's biggest passions that we'll dive into a little bit today. But yeah, even today I was teaching Sunday school and could be hormones too, but I was just like, I like played a video and was like crying during it. And then like, I just start talking about something random and then just start like getting that shaky cry voice. And I'm like, it really does mean so much to me. And when I start to share and talk about it, though, I just am so grateful for the feelings that come from the gospel of Christ and the teachings and stuff. So also grateful for that. I'm grateful for my nephew, Ralph. I'm in love with him. You probably hear that
Ralph.
every week. He's my favorite, and I got to see him yesterday and just play with him and makes me so happy. And then along with him, I just love my sister so much and my family. And then let's see, that's 3. 4, probably George. George is so great and just sets this whole podcast up every week. I message him and say, hey, can I come record at this random time? Like, and he just sets it up and he's so easygoing and just so grateful I have this
We
studio to
love George.
record. And willing people to be on this podcast is probably the last one. It's all like podcast related. But I encourage everyone this week to like make the longest list you've ever made of things you're grateful for. There's a game you can play where you like roll dice, kind of like left, center, right, or center, right, left, or whatever. And then like certain numbers, you have to just keep listing things you're grateful for until the next person gets the numbers. And you literally just start looking around the room. You're like, I'm grateful for lights. I'm grateful for windows. I'm grateful for water. But as you start to even name these silly things, like we just realize there's so many things in our lives to be grateful for. And I am a huge proponent of gratitude. It's the catalyst for all Christ-like attributes. It's just something that makes you happy regardless of your circumstances, which is the gospel. It's finding joy in hard times. Doesn't mean that hard time's not going to be there. And you don't have to, well, you can be grateful for your hardships. That's very mature, but it's hard to do. But you can also just be grateful to be alive and to be breathing. And you can just start simple. You can be grateful there's a sky and clouds and sun and stuff like that. So gratitude abounding this week, everybody. And now, Kate, I've been talking so much. It's your turn. What do you light up about? And
Okay,
what's on
well,
your
real
mind?
quick, I love about gratitude. I have something I want
Yes,
to say about gratitude that
please
changed my
share.
life. So we always talk about how like gratitude is so important to God and we should be grateful and how like you hear about gratitude practices
Yeah.
and I kind of never understood the hype. Like obviously if you're grateful that's a good thing, but I
Mm-hmm.
didn't understand why it was so important
Hmm.
until I learned something from Oprah. She's my
We
queen. I love
love
her.
Oprah.
But she was talking about how when something bad happens to us, we should say thank you. Like when something we don't understand happens to us, we should say thank you. And what saying thank you does is it puts you in line with truth and how whatever happens to us is for our good. God has promised us that. And but sometimes it gets lost on our end because we can't see that. And
Yeah.
so by practicing gratitude and being grateful for our lives as they are, it puts us in line with where God's at, but it also helps us to have perspective in those really hard times. So I think that's another reason why gratitude is so important, because it can really help us to see things how God sees them,
Hmm.
which is like a superpower.
Yeah. No, it really is. I think of this. This kind of changes the tone for just a second, then we'll bring it back to happiness. But it was my friend's older sister lost their 10-month-old baby. And at the funeral, her husband spoke, and it was like the most profound thing I've ever heard in my entire life. And he's like, this sounds horrible, but like, I'm so grateful God chose us for this trial, and how grateful he was that God trusted them to go through this in a sense and become stronger from it. And then just the blessing of having having a baby pass away and then being able to know that that baby's safe, you know, and like have one child already like you don't have to worry about because that baby's already with God. So just like and the chance they'll get to raise
Oh,
him again. But like as hard as it was for him to say thank you for this trial, he was like, it sounds bizarre. Obviously, we're so sad and mad that our baby was taken, but he was like, we're so grateful too. And it was just so profound. And it really did just, it didn't take away how hard the situation was, obviously, but it just made them learn more from it and see how it can impact their life for the better, which sounds so sad to think about. But
gosh.
yeah, it's just amazing what that power can do. And it helps you
Yeah.
start to see that there are lessons from it when you say thank you for it. And I don't know, for me, it's hard sometimes because I inflict my trials upon myself through my decisions. So then I have
Mhm.
to be just grateful that I'm human and understand that I make mistakes and that it can make it harder. And that's just part of learning. But I don't know. I am grateful for our struggles though, because if we didn't have them, how would we ever learn, right?
Amen.
Yeah. Well, Kate, what else are you passionate about? Tell us more about you.
Okay, well, I love so many things. I There's like two things in this world that I don't like, but I'm pretty much like everything.
Wait, what are those two
Um,
things? I'm curious.
snowboarding and skateboarding.
Oh, you don't love those. Yeah.
Nothing with balance, nothing with wheels.
Skateboarding's hard.
Except for bikes. I do like bicycles. I love being around people. I feel like people is a consistent passion of mine, and
Mm-hmm.
a lot of things that I've done in my life have fed into that. Like
Yeah.
in high school, I did yearbook and sports because I was around people. Or working in a visitor center on my mission was so fun because all these people,
That's
like I was
so
always meeting
cool.
people.
I would have loved.
And COVID was super hard because I was not around people.
Mhm.
It was the worst of my life. But I think I'm very passionate about people. I'm passionate about education. Um,
Oh
and
yeah.
I think that there's a lot
Kate's
of
in
ways
school
to get.
right now too.
I am in school. Yeah. I know. I'm like, I feel like we stopped at my mission. Like, after my mission, came home right before COVID, lived in Arizona for a year, and just felt really strongly that I needed to move to Utah. So I moved up, started getting a degree in business, which doesn't make sense to a lot of people because they're like, you're a hairdresser and you want to keep being a hairdresser. So why are you getting a degree? And my answer is I think that education is important, and hopefully one day it will be useful to me and I'll know why I needed to go to school. But as of right now, I'm just super excited. I graduate in like a month,
Woo!
so that'll be good. But yeah, I think that, education, I've sought it out my entire life, and it's deeper than just going to formal school. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's really important to read books and talk to people and listen to podcasts and really like always be striving to learn more and understand more because it makes you a better person and more well-rounded in my opinion. So I'm really passionate about that.
Love.
I'm passionate about fashion. I love
So
clothes.
good at fashion. It's so fun. This is actually her dress that I'm wearing today. So how fun is that? It's so cute.
It looks so good on you.
Thank you.
I just
You're the
think clothes are
best.
fun, and it's a form of self-expression where like if you're wearing something that is unique to you, someone walks up and they know something about you. And I think it helps you attract people that are like you
Hmm.
that you can be friends with, you know?
Yeah,
So,
totally.
and then I love working. I love having a job. I work at a hair salon right now, but I've always had like a job for as long as I can remember, and I love working.
It's a great quality. Really
Thank you.
is.
Thank you. And I really like writing. I haven't been good at it recently, but in high school I actually had a blog that I would write like weekly things and people would
I
like subscribe
love.
to my blog. It was so sweet.
That's awesome.
And then I I got a little bit back into it after my mission, but I it's a really good way for me to make sense of my thoughts and to like connect with God and connect with
Mhm.
others is just to take time and like write and then share it sometimes. But yeah, that's a little bit about me.
So fun. When I first asked Kate in the car, like, what do you light up about? Because she's like, what are we going to talk about? I'm like, well, this one's about you and what gets you excited. Her first answer was Jesus. So I love that. And we'll probably talk more about Jesus in this episode. But
We
also
better.
just like everything she just listed, like I think that just gives everyone an idea of Kate, that she's just passionate about life. Like so many wonderful things in her life is because she's passionate about them. So hopefully as you continue to listen to this podcast, you see what passions you have and how they benefit and bless your life. Because the more passionate you are about something, just the more excited you can be about life. And I love that. And Kate exemplifies that. So where do you want to start first? Should we start with Jesus?
Man, we could. I almost feel like we should end with Jesus.
That's true. We can do all
Or
of the
should we
above.
start with Jesus? He's going to be throughout the whole thing.
Yeah. Okay, so tell us a story from your childhood of one of these passions.
Okay.
Something that kind of builds you who you were and it helped you
Yeah.
develop the passion.
I'm trying to think. Like childhood before 18 or childhood before like 10?
Before 18.
Before 18. Okay. Um, I feel like this story kind of like encompasses a lot, but when I was 15 years old, um, I was like bored one day and I was on YouTube. I love like watching YouTube tutorials. And I watched this tutorial on like this girl doing her makeup. And my grandma had bought me like this makeup kit for Christmas. And so I started doing my makeup and I was like, well, that actually like kind of turned out good. So I started practicing and I got really good at makeup. And then do you know who Amber Fillerup is?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Okay, I love her. So she actually grew up like pretty close to where I grew up. We went to the same high school.
Oh, whoa.
And so she was in like her blogging time of her life, but not really like super big yet. And so anyway, she came back to her old ward to like teach a mutual on braiding. And I like was not even in the stake, but I was like, this is a good business opportunity. Like I was a clout chaser. So I was like, I'm going to the activity. So I like found out the details, showed up to this church. They're like, who are you? Like I was not in the ward.
That's awesome.
But Amber Fillerup taught me how to braid. And I just like afterwards I went up to her and like asked all these questions, took all these notes.
No way.
And I started like learning how to braid and I became really, really good. And then I just started like advertising and being like, I will do your hair and makeup for events. So I would like purposely try to not go to dances because I was like, I can make more money if I don't go. And so I would do like school dances.
That's awesome.
I would do weddings, I would do events. And so I kind of like created my own little business just from something that I had learned and like self-taught
And fell in love with. Yeah. That is so cool.
It was really fun. And that's why I actually decided to go to hair school. Because I was like, oh, this is so bad. Forgive me. Karma is. I was gonna say a word.
I'm dying.
But my senior year of high school, I was given an opportunity to go to cosmetology school for free.
Wow.
But I didn't want to go because I thought that like hair school was for stupid people who couldn't get into college.
Aw.
And I was like, I had a good ACT score. I had like scholarships to different colleges. And I just felt strongly that like I should just do it for a year. And if I didn't like it, then I could go to college when I graduated. But I went to hair school and like it was a good fit. And I did find a lot of like joy and fulfillment in it. But that's kind of like what got me started. That was my first job and the first like entrance into the beauty industry. But like it literally all started from YouTube. So that's
so cool. I really do admire those people that learn so much from YouTube. And I've almost wanted, like I went to Home Depot last night and I was like, I want to come here more often and I want to do like a project a month and just start to be more handy. But yeah, YouTube got me and I changed my own headlights and windshield wipers on my car. So I felt pretty proud that I could do that. But like, I don't know, makeup and hair for me, I wish I could relate more. My hair is just so unique and I haven't really been able to do much with it. So I don't do it. And so when I was babysitting my cousins, they have straight hair and I was like, I literally have no idea what to do with your hair. She's like, can you put it in a she was like, can you do 2 braids on one side and into the back? And I'm like, okay, I know how to do a braid. And I did like these 2 braids into one back braid and it was it turned out fine, but like not great. And I'm like, I need to work on this. So you really are just talented though. Like I feel like some hairdressers really do just have a gift for it, and you are definitely one of those people. Like you're so good at it, and it looks good. And she told me yesterday, so she said she would do these makeup and hair for school dances. One of the girls she used to do it for school dances for, she just did her bridal hair and makeup. So isn't that special? Like I love that.
Full circle. Oh, that made me
Kate's
so
out here
happy.
making dreams come true. Uh-oh. She might have just frozen.
Making my dreams come true.
Oh.
I feel like
You froze. Here, repeat what you just said. Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say they make my dreams come true. I was thinking about this because when people like, there's a lot of people in Utah that do hair. That's cool. And so when you tell someone you're a hairstylist, they're like, "Oh, okay," and that's like the end of conversation because they're like, "Okay, I know
what you
this is
do."
about."
Yeah.
But it is so much like deeper than that to me, where I get to spend hours on end with someone, like one on one, get to know them. They talk about their life, they talk about the things that they're worried about, their insecurities. And I get to be there, like talk to them and be like, "No, you're doing great. That's amazing. That's so hard." And like it's such a fulfilling thing where that person and I always leave the appointment like different people than we were before. And on top of all that, like they feel better about their appearance and I help them do that. And it's a cool process and I get to do it every single day, multiple times a day. And it is like the coolest job.
I was just say you're basically like a life coach. I love getting my hair done and getting to know my hairstylist too. I've had multiple throughout the years, and I think Kate's my upcoming one when I finally decide to do something new with my hair. But it's so true. We got plans. Stay tuned. But I love that. So, Kate, another thing you mentioned to me, you're passionate about wholehearted and intentional living. I haven't heard the word wholehearted living. I mean, it makes sense, but I definitely talk about intentional living. But tell us why you love this and what wholehearted means to you.
Okay, well, Sister Craig just did a talk on wholeheartedness at the last conference.
I love her.
Isn't she the best?
Yeah.
Okay, I was behind her in Target one time and I was like, "Is she gonna ask me about my cat or not?" Like, you know that one talk where she was like, anyway, no, she is a queen. But I've also, speaking of another queen, Brene Brown, I've been reading her book, The Gifts of Imperfection.
Ooh.
And her whole, like the first sentence of the book is wholehearted living means living your life from a place of worthiness.
Whoa.
And like mic drop, like this whole idea of how many times a day do we have to remind ourselves that we're worthy? Like worthy to eat, worthy to get enough sleep, worthy to take a break. Like it is so hard.
Worthy that you're doing a good job at work.
Doing a good job. People actually like you. You're making a difference, you know?
Wow. That is, I have never thought about that. Okay, keep telling us more.
Yeah. And so, really, I don't think that I used to have this view of like self-love and self-adoration and self-confidence was just obnoxious and annoying and it kept you from being able to reach out to other people. But truly, I have changed that. And I think that there is no like end to the depth of self-love and self-confidence and feeling of worthiness that you can have, because the more you feel good about yourself, the more that you can make others around you feel good about yourself, the more you can feel good about God, the more you can feel good about the world in general. Like everything gets better when you decide to live better. And so one of the most selfless things you can do is to do that work, to love yourself and to feel worthy, so that when you go out into the world, you're not worried about how you look or what's going on or if people like you. Because you like you think you're doing good, so you don't have to worry about that, and you can just help other people.
Yeah, look outward. Oh my gosh, I love that. Yeah. And something that taught me this lesson though, for sure, is so on my mission, I gained a ton of weight, and I was so self-conscious of it too. And I had my companion, shout out Maddie Amen. She would always be like, "Oh my gosh, Sister Ba, tell me you're confident in your body." Because I'd be like, "My double chin, like look how fat I am." And she was like, "Sister Ba, what did I tell you?" And I was like, "I'm confident in my body." And she's like, louder. And I'm like, "I'm confident in my body." And I like wrote on a sticky note and had to say it every day. And she'd make me like yell it at her. But literally, I said that today. These kids I was talking to after church, we were talking about, I don't know, just body weight and how it's different for guys to know like girls because guys' weight is so different with muscle and different things like that. And they just like asked me how much I weighed and like, no shame. I was just like, oh yeah, I'm this. I'm not going to say it right now because I feel awkward. But then I was just like, we were just like talking about it and like, there's nothing in that bothers me. And I'm just like, I'm confident in my body. Like, I don't care what anyone can say about it. And like, we can talk about it openly because I know where I stand in that area. And
Yeah.
I really am so grateful. I've been taught that and I haven't really struggled with body image. But even little things though, like we view our bodies so much harder than others view our bodies. But when we just stop and think of how, like, I was like, I gotta grow a baby one day. Like, how incredible are our bodies? Or like
Yeah.
every time of the month, it's like so hard not to be so annoyed that we have to deal with what we deal with as women every month. But it's also like, wow, cool, my body's working and it can produce amazing things. So I have to remind myself that. And then also my mom reminded me, like, because I was blaming something on my hormones, which is easy to do because they're very prevalent. But, and we're going to have a Relief Society activity about this too, but just how what we eat, how we take care of our bodies can help regulate our hormones, because that is something that's never going to go away. So as we learn to live with that and be grateful for them and what they do for us, it really just makes us so much happier. And then, like you said, like when I'm confident in my body, I can help others try to feel that too. Because once you feel something convicted in your soul, then you're like, you want to share it with the world, right? That's how like the gospel is too. And Kait, you really do like all the things you share with me. I'm like, oh my gosh, wait, teach me more. Also, special plug, Kait meal preps and makes amazing food. Like she just is so well-rounded. It's amazing. Okay, I've talked a ton. Kait, it's your turn. What thoughts do you have?
Yeah, I think like we could just go on and on about the power of confidence, but um I just think especially when, and this kind of goes back to the fashion thing. Um I used to live with someone that was really really mean to me because of who I was and how I was.
Hmm.
And I couldn't understand it and I of course wanted us to get along. So I tried like, well, maybe if I can just be like a little less loud, like I can wear like less boring clothes when we're around boys. I'll just like talk less because I know that she
Aw.
doesn't like that. And it was one of those things where um I realized that like I wasn't doing anyone a service by not being myself.
Hmm.
And by trying to please someone who already didn't like me, like what was that going to do?
Hmm.
And so the best thing I could do was just be myself, and I was happier and the people around me were happier. But I just think it's so important to like just accept who you are and how you are. And that's going to change all the time. We are always changing, but there are core things about you and that won't really change. Like the body thing, you can gain weight, lose weight, but at the end of the day you have the same body with the same like build and everything, and you
Mm-hmm.
either like it or you don't, but you have to live with it every day. So why would you not want to love it? And also there is an energy behind love and dislike, and they've done studies on it. Like if you've heard about like how people will talk nice to plants versus being mean to plants,
Mm-hmm.
it changes how it grows and how it flourishes. So why would you want to do that to yourself? So I mean, I'm not perfect. There's a lot of things about myself that are really hard for me to accept, but always striving to love and talk about myself positively I think is so important, and it gives me the confidence to be able to talk about others confidently and with love because I've practiced that. And so it's not unnatural to give someone a compliment because I'm used to being complimentary and kind and looking for those
Hmm.
things.
Oh, that's so powerful. Thank you for sharing that. I think sometimes people talk about, oh yeah, all these affirmations and I do it every day. And sometimes like, isn't that weird saying, I am incredible, I am amazing. You know, I'm like, that sounds kind of weird. But like the more I've studied into it and like tried it on my own, like
Mhm.
the more I see the power in it, like with the I am confident in my body. But there was a Relief Study lesson many, many years ago, and it's like every morning say, I am capable, I am loved, and I will not stand in my way. And I was like, oh, those are
Wow.
fun. And at that same lesson, they shared this, my favorite book of all time, the You Are Special book. You know that book?
I do know that one.
The little wooden people.
I love that.
And
Punchinello.
yeah, oh my gosh, it's so good. I would play that for my little EFY kids when we taught about divine nature. I also had a guy I dated. He He was really helpful in a lot of ways, and one of the ways was he like when he told me he loved me, this is years ago, but he was like, "I love you for you," not because I was waiting for him to like tell me, "Oh, I love you because of this and this and this and this," but it was like, "No, because you're you." And then he's like, "Okay, let's read this book," and like we have value no matter what. And so we would read Your Special, and I mean, not even just from him, but just from like growing up, my dad would read it to us and things like that. And it's just such a powerful book that like teaches you your value despite everything going on around you. And then just like other examples of people. I don't know. If you haven't read that book, I'll post a link. You can read it on YouTube on like a cute little video. Hey, did you grow up with that book too?
I loved that book, and I think about that all the time because sometimes I don't feel cool, and sometimes I feel like I have no friends, and
Oh,
I
but
feel
you
like
are so cool.
people are putting black dots on me, and I think about the girl that nothing sticks to her, and I'm like, no one's opinion matters if I don't let it. Like I literally think about I'm 23 years old, and I think about that book all the time because
Yeah.
it's such a true principle where it's like it doesn't matter if people think I'm cool or not because it's at the end of the day, it's just an opinion.
And like,
Like
I think I'm cool. Like, just live your best life,
yeah, I
create the
think I'm
life you
cool, so
want.
why does it matter what Joe thinks? Like, his name's Joe. Like, I don't know.
hmm Yeah, honestly, lately I've been thinking of like create the life I want. Like we have more power than
Yeah,
we think. Like, yeah, you have a 9 to 5 job and you can make the most of that and try to find a job you enjoy and work on that or in school, just class you have to take. But like at the same time, it's like you have 24 hours. Like hopefully you're sleeping for 8 to 9 of them. But then all the other hours, you're like, hey, if you want to be good at making breakfast in the morning, like you could focus on that. And like, let's say you don't eat anything else that week, but you focus on just having a good breakfast. Like, good for you. And you're creating that part of your life that you want. And yeah, I love in the book. So it's these little wooden people and they have dots and stars and they give them out to people. And Punchinello has a lot of dots. And he meets this girl. Her name's Lucille or something, Lucy maybe. And she has no dots or stars. And he's like, how do you have that? And she's like, oh, I go and visit Eli up on the hill. And she's like, you should go visit him. He goes and visits him. And Eli's like the wood carver. And he's like, he knows his name. And he's like, you know what? I know you're special because I made you. Like, and if you don't care what they think and you care what I think, then they won't stick. And he's like, you have to visit me every day though. So that like reminds me that we literally need to pray every day and have God buoy us up because when we can't feel that self-love, like we can ask him to give us that love and his love and Christ's love is always there. I think that's why we love Jesus so much is because he loves us so much.
amen. Amen.
Why do
And
you
like
love Jesus? Oh, go ahead.
well, just the power of spending time with him because it's a relationship at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And I got kind of emotional thinking yesterday about how we don't remember the premortal life. And there's so much about Jesus and Heavenly Father and Heavenly Mother that, like, it wasn't just a relationship, like a mass relationship that they have with their kids, but they had a personal relationship with each of us. We probably had inside jokes or like
hmm
things that like there it was a relationship and it made me like genuinely sad that I can't access those memories to feel close to him in that same way, but I can create new memories with him and um God is everywhere and you just have to find ways to see him. I pray every single day. That really helps me.
hmm
I read the Book of Mormon first thing in the morning every day, and I do feel like that gives me a lot of power, protection, and perspective. And
Yeah.
just taking time to go to the temple once a week has blessed my life. But ultimately, like I think as you go about your day and seeing the little ways that God made something work out or something didn't work out, but you felt His love and His encouragement I see him everywhere. Like he is so real to me. And um it's not always easy to feel him, but in those times I'm grateful to have had such a history with him. Like my
hmm
whole life he's been a priority. And so I can look back and be like, oh, but remember that one time when you were 15 and you felt him in a really big way? Or remember that
hmm
time? And so I'm grateful for memories with him that help me because you won't always feel him. Even if you're doing all of those things,
hmm
there's an ebb and flow where sometimes you feel God more and sometimes you feel him less. And sadness and anger, whatever it may be, like that is not an absence of God. That's just a human condition. But it is hard to feel him when we're feeling that way. And especially when we're dealing with mental illness, it almost becomes impossible to feel God. And so I think having good, like, past experiences you can look back on, or people who you trust who can remind you of God and his character
Yeah.
is so essential in those times, because I've been there, where you just can't feel God, and one day the clouds break and you start to feel him again, but it is scary, a scary place to be in, where you're like, maybe this wasn't all I thought it was.
Mm.
And in those times you just got to like be still and not make any like rash moves. And I always say, like, I can be mad at God in my mind, but I never want to be mad at God in my actions. Like, I can be angry,
Oh,
upset, but I never want that to reflect in like deciding to sin or deciding to pull away from Him. Uh,
interesting.
yeah.
Huh. That last thing you just said made me think of kind of what Come Follow Me's been teaching the past 2 weeks. So it's like all the tribes of Israel kind of before they were scattered, like they were just becoming more and more wicked, and they kind of like felt justified in what they were doing, and they felt like they were being blessed and prosperous, but it was like all a lie, and they were actually being so wicked. And God was like sending them prophets saying like, you need to repent, like this is not good. But like, and then obviously they were scattered and a lot of them destroyed. So it's really interesting though, like how easy it is for us to forget God, but like he is there no matter what. Like he was once like man and knows what it's like to be a human too, which I think helps us realize his love for us, because he's like, oh yeah, I've been there. Or like that story David Butler posted on his Instagram, if you follow him, it was like, can you ever forgive me type of story. The little boy lost his dad's something of his dad's, and the little boy like left a note saying, I looked all over for it, I'll save up my money, I'll try to buy it for you, like I'm so sorry. And then like, PS, can you ever forgive me? I sent that to my dad because I just lost one of his hats and tent stakes when I went backpacking. And I was like, can you ever forgive me? But it's like the dad in that situation was like, it's not a big deal. And that like, that's, I mean, it is, some things are more big of deals to God, but like just the fact that like us trying, like God is just like crying with us and just so grateful that we're turning to him, and that we do feel sorry for different things. But also like with my dad, me losing those things too, I was like trying to replace him for him, and he's like, nah, you're fine, like it's okay. Even though he was like, don't lose anything, and I lost it, it's just like that love is greater than these material things, right?
Yes. Well, and the underlying emotion there is just like an unconditional love, but a parent to child relationship. Like, I love that comparison. I mean, we are literally God's children, but there's something so endearing about a child being sorry to a parent, because the parent is like, if you knew how I felt about you, you would not even be sweating it. But there's
Hmm.
still that love and that respect, and that it's a fear of like damaging that relationship. And that's why we get so like, oh, I'm so sorry. I hope you can forgive me. And to the parent, it's like, if you had any idea how I felt about you, you would not even be worried about damaging our relationship. And I do think that some sins are more serious than others, because it has serious consequences and it can damage a lot. But like, never for God is it hard to forgive us. Like,
Hmm.
it's just like the thing he wants to do more than anything
Seven times
is
70, right?
to, yeah, to repair with
Ugh.
us whatever we may fit, what we may break.
Yeah, and Christ loves healing broken things. Like that is his job, and he knows that, and he does it perfectly. Oh, Kate, thank you. Our time is up, but just brief takeaways. I think for me, it's continuing in gratitude, at least 5 things a day, especially this week, and then wholehearted, just like putting that word into my life. Wholehearted living. Like, what am I putting my heart into? Like when I'm at work, be at work. Put my whole heart into work and getting my job done. And then when I'm with people, put my whole heart into being with those people, or studying my scriptures, or reading books, or putting my whole heart into my prayer, not just saying, okay, I'm tired, good night, but like wholeheartedly praying and doing those things. What about you, Kate? What's your last final words for today's episode?
Um, I was a little bit nervous to come on because I was like, what is my one thing? What
Oh,
is my
you
one
have
thing?
so many things.
And as I was thinking about it, I realized like there's never gonna be one thing. My one thing yesterday is different than my one thing today, because we're constantly evolving and
Mm-hmm.
things we have to let things burn to let new things rise from the ashes. And I think that um I love the word wholehearted. I've been leaning more into intentional
Mm.
recently and thinking about how it doesn't matter where I've been or where I'm going to go or how people see me. I
Yeah.
just want to be who I am today, and I want to be that today, and I want to live intentionally, and I want to, in moments of making decisions, I want to look inward and say what feels true to who I am and my values and what God wants for me. And that's something I want to continue to work on, because I think it's so easy to like want to look outside of yourself and say, okay, but what does someone else want me to do? Or what would be the most
Mm,
do? Or,
guilty. I'm so guilty of this. I
right?
always am
Oh,
like, oh, what should I do? And I call someone to help me make my decision when I need
yes.
to just make my own decisions. Everyone's
But
like, every episode,
found,
Natalie talks about this.
I found, as I take the time to say, okay, but Kate, like, what do you think is best for you?
Mm.
That I always have the answer. And when I listen to myself, like everything always works out the way it should. And I'm like a very hyperactive person. Like I like to get things done. I don't like to wait on people. Nat knows because last night I went into her room and I was like, I canceled the date because you didn't text me back soon. And I don't have time. Like if you're wasting my time, I don't have time for it. I don't want to worry about it. But I have found the times where I just slow down, breathe, and say, you know what? I'm living in this moment. Whatever is meant to happen will happen.
Hmm.
I'm not going to force anything. I'm just going to have faith in the process, trust, and things go better. So that's something I'm going to
Yeah.
continue to work on, is being just a little bit more in the moment, intentional, and realizing what's meant to happen is going to happen.
Oh, I
I
love that.
my responsibility is to find out what's best for me, and if I do that, everyone else is going to be okay, because what's best for me can't be bad for someone else. Like if we believe in God's plan that everything is meant to happen, then as long as we're making good choices for ourselves, those choices aren't going to hurt other people who aren't meant to be hurt by them. I don't
Oh.
know, maybe people will be hurt by my choices, but um anyway,
No, Kate,
yeah.
you are already living everything you were just talking about working on. Like, and I live with you and I get to see that every day. Well, when I'm home, but for real, you are so good at all that. And I was just like thinking, oh, my cheeks hurt. Like I've been smiling this whole time. Like everyone, I hope you get to meet Kate and have her in your life because it's such a blessing. And I'll link all her fun social media so you can follow along with her. She posts so many fun things. And yeah, thank you for sharing all your uplifting thoughts, Kate. Everyone, I hope you got a lot out of this episode, and we'll talk to you next week. Bye, guys.